Yo, what's up guys, this is Fox and welcome to my first ever guide on a trial in Final Fantasy XIV. This guide is for Snack Extreme, also called Seiryu Extreme, and we'll go over all the mechanics you will encounter in the fight. Not the exact order or something like that, but just explains them all once so you know what to do when it happens, right? The fight by itself is pretty simple, doesn't require too much brain knowledge, and it will help you get through it in party final, right? All the footage used in this video is my own, and I'm trying to hit my positionals as good as I can, I guarantee you that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is marker placement. It's very simple. Just put A, B, C and D intercardinal, 1 and 2 on the west and east side in the middle of the map. Those markers will be used for later on mechanics, and you have to pair your DPS with a tank or a healer respectively. Melees with tanks and range with healers, of course. This makes it easier. Now, the start of the raid has no mechanics happening, so you can just execute your opener as you usually would. Nothing to worry about. The upcoming mechanic will be 4 Wreaths on 4 random targets besides the main tank, which you will have to spread accordingly and not overlap, otherwise you will die. After that, you'll have a AoE floor pattern, which you will have to just dodge accordingly. It's literally just move out of it and you'll be done with it, nothing else. Seiryu will now teleport to the furthest target away and have an AoE around him. If you stand close, you'll get hit by it and take a vuln stack, but that's about it. I would suggest eating it if you're melee DPS, as a tank I wouldn't. Next upcoming is the Tank Buster. The Tank Buster is called Curse Keeper and has quite a long cast, so you have an easy time of Voke and Shirking. The off tank has to Voke, takes the Tank Buster, which is a cleave, and that's about it. Make sure to use your cooldowns while you eat that Tank Buster. The other tank will get a debuff. If he gets hit by the Tank Buster, it will spread through the raid and kill everyone basically. That's about it. Now we move on to a kinda in-between phase. 3 random adds appear on the battlefield and will target 2 random players. The other people just can stand down the middle and take an AoE hit. While if you get a tether, you will see how to act in this specific example. You can shortcast or arm's length these, and you will not get knocked back. If you're a bard, you have to angle yourself a bit to the northeast or northwest depending on your side, so you will not get thrown off the arena in a later part of the phase. After this is done, there is only a tank mechanic happening. Both tanks have to take a tether according to their marker and will have to face it away from the group, otherwise these big adds will cleave the group. So just move accordingly, and you can use spare cooldown there to make it easier on your healers. Following this mechanic, we'll have the mandatory add phase for every promo. 3 sets of small adds and 2 sets of 1 big add will appear, and you have to take them up as the tank. Of course, if you're DPS, make sure to AoE. As a tank, I suggest using Interject to silence the first add, because otherwise they will cast Stone Skin and just extend the duration of this part of the raid. This is not specifically hard, just be careful, because every time one of the add dies, it will release a big AoE, which does quite a lot of damage. So as a healer, make sure to top off everyone and use your healer skills, otherwise you might have some deaths in this phase. As you can see, there's nothing else special in this phase, just make sure not to have the adds die too fast. This one here in this example casted Stone Skin because the tank was not able to silence the add, but everyone else can also silence the add in the process of the cast to avoid Stone Skin going up. They have an enrage, as you can see, so make sure to kill them though fast enough. After this, make sure to top everyone off, because there's going to be a big raid-wide AoE going out. After a cutscene, we'll move on to the main part of the fight. This diagram explains the first mechanic that is going to happen. Random snakes will appear on a random part of the map, and you'll have to move over to that side because they will knock you over to the other part of the map. If you get thrown into the water by this, you will take damage and get stunned for a short amount of time. After respawning, after the cutscene, you'll have to pop sprint in order to get to the platform really fast, which you will see in just a few seconds. Make sure to really pop sprint there, because I haven't done it quite a few times and I died from this like once or twice. So just pop sprint and get there fast as possible. Now you need to watch out for the snakes, which I did not really do in this example, but I was able to identify where the snakes are coming from by just watching where my party members are going. I move over there and we'll get knocked over to the side. You cannot use your knockback immunities on this. Now a random creature appeared on the north side of the map, which will slam half of the arena with their hand. So make sure to keep an eye on this. It will do it 3 times in the first phase and will appear randomly throughout the whole encounter. So keep an eye on this ad not to get hit by this, because it puts a debuff on you, and if you get hit twice you will die in that moment. What's really important is that it will pair this mechanic with others, so really pay attention to this, because this can cause easy deaths. We'll have now a repeat of the first mechanic, just with a knockback from the middle. So you have to position yourself into the middle, get knocked back to the side, and then you have the snakes go through you, followed by an easy double stack marker. This one is not special, you can just take it as a whole group, and that's about it. The upcoming stack mechanic that will happen a few times in the fight requires a bit more coordination. This is why we had the 1 and 2 markers in the first example. One healer goes to 1, the other goes to 2, with the groups that they got assigned to share the stack markers, because they will apply a debuff on the group. The next mechanic will be either out or in or out. You can identify them by the dragons, which mean in, and by the yin yang, which means out. According to what order Seiryu executes them, you have to replace yourself and dodge. If you don't, you'll get a Von stack, and it might be hard on your healers in the end. The upcoming mechanic will be like the one we encountered in the first phase. This time though, the whole floor will light up orange with different tiles. The tile diagonally will be the one that will be safe for you, so make sure to just dodge diagonally and not get hit by this. It's pretty simple. The next mechanic will make use of our markers. 4 towers appear intercardinal on the map. If you have no AoE around you, you have to go to your marker and take that tower. It is like Suzaku basically. If you have an AoE, make sure to not put it into the tower and dodge it clockwise to have freedom around. The melee DPS can keep uptime depending on what they get. Followed by this, we'll have the stack marker that I explained before, so make sure that the 2 healers spread accordingly with their groups, otherwise you will just instantly wipe because everyone will just die. Followed by this, we'll have another tank buster, like in the first phase, with a twist. It will be casted twice. So, the off tank Vokes, take the tank buster, make sure not to cleave the raid. Then, the main tank, after his debuff disappears, will Voke again and get a shirk from the off tank again. It's basically the same as in the first phase, just execute it twice. Of course, make sure to use Shirk and Vogue in order to have no aggro problems in this phase. Very simple, not too hard, just make sure to execute it. The upcoming mechanic will be the last new mechanic, if you say so, although it's a repeat of the mechanics in the first phase. 2 random ads appear, will have an AoE around them, plus the in and out mechanic that we've seen before. Now after that, the tank tethers will appear, the tanks will face them outwards of the group, and then we'll have the 3 random ads spawn again, targeting 2 random DPS players, where they have to face them outwards too. If you're the border machinist, make sure to angle yourself to the long part of the map, which should be the north part. The rest of the group stacks as before, and that's about it. Just with a twist, we again leave some AoEs around and have 4 random markers on 4 random DPS, followed by the AoEs on the ground. Make sure to watch out, because also the big guy is there again slamming the ground, and if you're in that after taking some damage, you might just die from this. You've now encountered all mechanics that will happen in this fight. They will just rinse and repeat now until enrage or until it's dead. That's basically it. The fight itself is not very hard, very simple to execute. Just make sure to do so. Now, this was my very first guide I've ever done. If you could leave some feedback on what you liked and what you didn't like, please do so, because I would appreciate that a lot in order to create more higher quality guides in the future for 5.0. That was it from my part. Have fun farming the fight and getting the dog, and look forward to 5.0. Cheers guys.